Aristotle's personal history is complex and full of stories that have been passed down through the centuries. He was born in 384 BC in the town of Stagira, a small place on the Chalcidice Peninsula near what is now Thessaloniki. His father, Nicomachus, served as a physician to the Macedonian king, and his mother, Phaestis, came from a family with roots in distant Chalcis. Early in life, Aristotle was exposed to the world of medicine and nature, an influence that would remain with him as he grew older. Sadly, both of his parents died while he was still young, and a man named Proxenus of Atanius took charge of his upbringing. It is believed that during his early years, Aristotle also spent time in the Macedonian capital, forming connections with the royal court that would later shape his path. When he reached his late teens, Aristotle left his hometown and moved to Athens, the center of learning in the ancient world. He enrolled at Plato's academy, where he quickly earned a reputation for his inquisitive mind and clear thinking. His teacher recognized his potential, and Aristotle soon became known as the mind of the school. In Athens, he not only pursued a rigorous course of study in philosophy and science but also experienced the deep cultural and religious traditions of the city, perhaps even taking part in ceremonies that celebrated mystery and wonder. For nearly 20 years, Athens was Aristotle's home as he absorbed ideas from a circle of great thinkers and began to form his own unique perspectives on life and knowledge. After the death of Plato, Aristotle grew disillusioned with the changing direction of the academy. With growing political tensions and a shift in leadership under Plato's nephew, he decided to leave Athens around 348 or 347 BC. His journey took him to Asia Minor, where he settled in Assos at the invitation of Hermias of Atanius, a former student and friend. In this new environment, Aristotle engaged in practical research, studying botany and the marine life of the region. During his time at Assos, he also married Pythias, a woman connected to his friend's family, and together they had a daughter named Pythias. This period of his life marked a shift from purely academic pursuits to scientific observation and hands-on inquiry. Aristotle's reputation as a thinker soon reached the ears of the Macedonian royal family. In 343 or 342 BC, King Philip II invited him to tutor his young son, Alexander, at a private school in Myasa near the royal seat of Pella. Here, Aristotle introduced the future king to subjects such as literature, ethics, politics, and history, laying down a foundation that would influence Alexander's ideas about leadership and conquest. Although their time together was brief, lasting only a few years, Aristotle's teachings made a lasting impression on the young prince, who carried these lessons into his later military and political endeavors. Following his service at the Macedonian court, Aristotle returned to Athens after the assassination of King Philip. As a resident alien in the city, he was not permitted to own property, so he rented a space that came to be known as the Lyceum. Within this institution, he established a school where he lectured, conducted research, and gathered a group of dedicated students. Along with colleagues like Theophrastus and others, he built an impressive library filled with texts, maps, and objects of historical value. During these years, Aristotle composed many works on subjects ranging from physics and metaphysics to ethics and politics. His writings, originally intended mostly as lecture notes, would go on to influence learning for centuries. In his later life, personal loss and political strife shadowed his achievements. After the death of his wife Pythias, Aristotle formed a new relationship with Herpolis, with whom he had a son named after his father, Nicomachus. When anti-Macedonian feelings resurfaced in Athens, Aristotle found himself under scrutiny and left the city. Retreating to his mother's estate in Chalcis, Euboea, he spent his final days in quiet reflection. His legacy, carefully passed on to his student Theophrastus and preserved through many generations, continues to ignite curiosity and inspire scholars around the world.